Sunshine, wild ones, it's Bernadette, and I'm here with your Pick a Card Daily Tarot reading for Wednesday, April 7th, 2021. First thing, thank you all so very much. You are making amazing big dreams come true with my new book, the Kickstarter campaign. Within an hour, we were fully funded. Within a day, we were doubly funded. We were 200% funded. And it just keeps going up and up from there, which is awesome because you guys got to help us reach those stretch goals so that we can unlock the two other books, the Domestic Cats and the Domestic Dogs book. And then I've gotten just this avalanche of questions about running Kickstarter campaigns and this and that. And you guys have been so good to me that I decided to do a free Kickstarter class for you all and tell you all the stuff that you can't find on the internet because people are greedy with their information, you know, like there's not enough in the world for everybody else. That's a scarcity mindset. We don't have that. Wild ones don't have that mindset. And so I'm going to blab everything. I'm going to blab it all. And it's free to you, June 7th, 2:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's a Saturday. The link to sign up for that newsletter is in the comments below. And that's the only way you're going to get all the information because I love y'all, but I can't be answering. I'm getting emails and comments and stuff everywhere on like 15 different places, and I got to rein it in because I don't want to miss anybody and you know, get anybody upset or not get them the information that you need. So there's that. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and get all these shenanigans every day. You'll know when it's there, and make sure that you go over to gatheringofmystics.com where we discuss everything and go over there. All right, so let's get into this reading because it was nuts. So when I sat down to meditate on the pick a card reading for today, I was told, hey, we're going to bring you in a different animal. Yay, that's fun. Yay, you know, because there are a gajillion animals in the world and only 149 in the arc, right? Okay. So 300 in the book, but 149 in the deck. So I was like, okay, cool. And bloop, right in my face popped a Shoebill Stork. That's what a Shoebill Stork looks like in a meditation when it pops up in your face. I said, just like that, because it was a little intense. So I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm, you know, listen, stork energies are all about this and they're all about that and they're all about whatever. But Shoebills are, you know, I knew they had to have different things about them, and I wasn't all that familiar with them. And so I went to look up, you know, on the internet stuff about Shoebill and, you know, keep channeling the information from the animal spirit guides. And then I was told to pull a card to be a partner, to be a pair with the Shoebill. Oh, okay, that's fun. Never done that before. And I have to thank you guys because doing these daily doing the lives and then doing the daily readings, it's been a really big stretch for me as a reader because Spirit has popped all these new ideas and new ways of doing things and, you know, all kinds of things in for me to share with you all. So those of you that are studying to be readers, I hope some of this stuff really resonates with you because it's not only is it fun, but it's crazy accurate. So interestingly enough, the whale card, the Judgment card came out. And I thought, well, what does that have to do with a Shoebill Stork? Okay, I get the water connection. That's about emotion. Okay. You know, the coloration, maybe the shape of the... And then I went, the shape of the bill looks kind of whale-like. Y'all, don't you know I went dipsy dumpster diving for facts about Shoebill Storks? Guess what they're sometimes called? Whale-headed, what is it? Whale-headed? Hold on, let me find it. Whale-headed storks, I believe is their name. I was like, what? So that's because of the shape of their head. Now, there's something really interesting about that. So that's it. Shoebills are also called whale-headed storks, and Balaniceps rex means whale-head king, evidently a reference to its bill shape resembling the head of a baleen whale. Now, if you don't know this, baleen whales are the kind of classification that have like 12 different whales in them, humpback whales and gray whales and that kind of thing. And so when I really started to take a look at what the Judgment card had to do, what the whale had to do with the stork and the whole this, the next thing I knew, it was 45 minutes later, and I'm still looking for information to do what? To connect the dots. Finally, it dawned on me. Oh, sometimes I can be thick. That this is about investigation. And this is about you doing your due diligence to find out what you need to find out. Not what you want to find out, but what you need to find out, which really should be kind of the same thing, if that makes sense. But I find that people don't necessarily do all of the investigatory work that they might need to do to really get the answers to the things that are important to them, mostly because of fear. Nothing against you fellas out there, believe me. I love y'all, every one of you. And so I'm not slamming you, but you know, some jokes are true because you know, some jokes are funny because they're true. And the joke about men not wanting to go to the doctor is just as true as it is can be. And so it's like that, you know, like when you don't want to do something because you're afraid of the answer, and you just you turn your attention from it. You only investigate up so far until you're comfortable, and that's where it stops, is where you're comfortable. And I have to tell y'all, I'm a pretty moxie lady, but to get on the internet and just blah, 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 you know, expecting or hoping that, you know, one person out there is going to like what you have to say or what you offer them, you know, that takes a little bit of gumption. And in fairness to myself, I did a whole bunch of research before I just jumped on up in here and did my thing, because my goal was I wanted to help get you what you needed. I wanted to bring you in closer relationship with your animal allies, and they with you, and the byproduct would be this, and the byproduct would be this, and the byproduct would be this. Okay. So when we take a look at the Judgment card, right? Because you can't, when you're working with the animals of the arc, you can choose whether when you pull a card that the tarot part of it resonates with you or just the animal part. That's why they were designed this way, is so that you work with the animal allies to get you the information that you most need at that moment. So when you look at, you know, when you look at the card, it's rising up, it's clarity, but it's rising up. And it is about judgment. And so there's a, you know, when you take a look at how whales communicate and you take a look at how shoebills communicate, how are you ever going to, how would we ever know what they're saying? Because they both communicate in kind of hidden ways, so to speak. And now is not the time to do that. Now is the time to get your message across in a very vocal way, because when they do want to get their messages across, they're some of the loudest animals in the world. I mean, look on the internet, look on YouTube for shoebills that get all, you know, they get all bothered and they come after somebody. They really have earned that reputation for that fierce look that they have, right? And they make these crazy guttural, like terrifying, haunted sounds. It's like, wow. Oh, as much as I love animals, you might go down a little bit on my list. But again, it's about this animal means this, but when we go further down that rabbit hole looking for information, now we find the correlation between this, and we find the correlation between this and this. Where all of this is leading to is, I firmly, firmly, firmly believe that Spirit has sent me a message for you all today, that you must do your investigation so that you can use your best judgment. And you cannot use your best judgment because you are in a position, if you're watching this video, whenever you're watching it, if you're watching it today on April 7th, at whatever time, if you're watching it in October of 2050, it doesn't matter. You were led to this video, this message at this time for a very particular reason, and the biggest of which is your judgment. And you're in a place where you've got to make a decision that there's a lot that weighs on this decision. Believe me, I understand where you're at. I absolutely do. And I know the times in my life and the times in my clients' life. I mean, that's why I have clients. We all get to these times in our life where we're like, I don't know what to do. And, you know, sometimes you're in a place where you can trust your own judgment. You can trust what you're hearing from Spirit is what you're hearing from Spirit, not what you want to hear. And sometimes you just need an outside perspective. I mean, I have a couple people that I call and go, and they help me out. And darn if they're not right every time. So the thing about this is I keep seeing everything math and science, And so I feel like there are numbers very connected to whatever this is that you've got to make a decision about. And some of that may just boil down to numerology. And so, and meaning this, my friend Corby Mitlive, you guys, if you go to my lives, by the way, there's a live tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. Woo! I love the lives. I love my lives. And so tomorrow morning? No, tomorrow's Thursday. Tomorrow it's in the evening. Sorry, y'all, in the evening, 8 to 9:30. No, 7 to 8. Run a Kickstarter, they said. It'll be fun, they said. I don't know if I'm coming or going. Thursday at from 7 to 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Okay, be there or be square. So my friend Corby is an amazing numerologist. And so anytime I have anything to do, she does the numerology for me. And when I bought this house, you know, I was like, well, okay, that seems pretty accurate. I mean, okay, I'll go with that. And as the years have unfolded, the last 3 years have unfolded, guess what? It's exactly what was in that reading about the numerology of the address of this house. It's been crazy. So this may boil down with the numbers, the decision, the doing the investigation. This just may simply boil down to what are the numbers that are standing out for you and what do they mean in terms of numerology, in terms of a life path number or a career number or a wishes, wants, and desires number. You know, it can be any number of things, but you're being asked to not to place your spidey senses aside, but maybe just place them on hold for a bit while this part of you goes from connection to connection to connection. Because, and this is not a stretch, y'all, I am not trying to make something fit. It just is what it is. This is the Judgment card. And I don't know who can look at a picture of a spoonbill stork, a shoebill stork, and not feel judged. They just are the judgiest of judgiest animals ever. Now, whales are not that way. But whales are about clarity, and they are all about coming up for air, and they are all about reemergence and getting a deep breath up under you. And you may be in that place. You may be in a place where you just are so far sucked under the water into your own emotions, into what's happening, that you can't breathe. And you think there's no light at the end of the tunnel. But the shoebill stork and the whale says, oh, yes, there is. The thing is you've got to use your judgment. The time for you to depend on other people, the time for you to just go, oh, I can't, that's not the time. You're going to have to jerk yourself up by your bootstraps, and you're going to have to know that your animal allies will infuse you with whatever powers, whatever magic, whatever energy, whatever medicine you need, and get you rolling on along about your merry business. So, all of that said, the other thing about storks at large is, you know, they're very connected with the fable, the myth of whatever, bringing babies. And the other thing that they are connected, well, that whales are connected to that really stood out to me is baleen whales. They don't have teeth. They've got those baleen in them, and they're like, you know, they screen the water going in and they catch what they eat, and you get it. So when I take a look at the baby and the teeth connection and straining things, I kept hearing baby steps, meaning with this decision that you have to make, you almost want to strain I know I know how this sounds, but I promise you, either today or a week from now, you're going to go, that was the craziest reading you ever gave, and darn if this didn't happen. I'll get the emails. So, you want to strain the food like you would strain baby food, and you want to take in your investigative information a bit at a time, and make it so that it's palatable to babies, meaning I get questions a lot about legal issues. Am I going to win the case? Am I not going to win the case? That's such a subjective question. You may lose your behiney in court, and it be the best thing that ever happened to you or for you. You may win, and it be the worst thing that ever happened to you or for you. It might set off a series of events that does this, and likewise the converse might set off a series of events to do this. So you've got to be super specific when you're looking for investigating this information, and just take it in baby chunks at a time. and come up for air, and make sure that what the information that you're putting together is got a solid foundation in math. Meaning, let's say you're going to start a business. Let's say you want to buy a home. Let's say you want to invest in the stock market, or, you know, whatever. You cannot go on the gut feeling. Recently, I thought I had the opportunity. I was wrong. To potentially purchase a business. I think I mentioned this to you guys about acquiring a business. And that person didn't want to supply their financials. They apparently want people to buy it because they just love it so much, or they have big ideas for this business or whatever. And I'm like, that's not business. That's just not business. And I said, so I'm out. You know, when you decide you can, you know, do business, let me know. I'll be waiting around. Unless I just go ahead and develop my own system, and, you know, I'll need you then. So I'm not being snarky about it, but what I am saying is that you've got to take into consideration the hardcore facts, the science, the math. And for empaths like us, for psychics like us, for feeling people like us, that can blow our minds. It's not a really comfortable place. We don't love it there. But for whatever this is, when whatever's tinged in your head watching this video and you're like, oh, I got to get on making that decision, that's the decision I'm talking about. So I hope that was helpful. Please, please, please pledge the Kickstarter. Sign up for the new class, although you do have to pledge the Kickstarter to be able to take the new class, the free class. And so get your copy of the Arcanimal Tarot and Oracle deck. Go see us on gatheringofmystics.com. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and just, you know what, just do a bunch of stuff. No, I'm teasing. I appreciate you guys very much, every one of you. And what's the most important thing all day, every day, and today? To what? To keep doing good for animals and to stay wild.